From home improvement to Toy Story, you are guaranteed to know who our next guest is. You can also see him live and in person this spring.
We are joined this morning by the one and only Tim Allen. Good morning. Thanks for being with us.
Wow, thank you for having me. Wow.
We are super excited.
Well, thank you very much. I was just thinking about, I've been touring this year and this last, long story short, I've been doing California, Oregon, Portland, the West Coast, which I usually do East Coast or Vegas, and we did Redding, California, and now Stockton. And you got to understand how beautiful the state is. You know, I'm a Colorado boy, moved to Detroit when I was a kid. I've been here a long time, and it's hard not to admire how different this place is, California, when you get to these great towns. So I'm really excited to be
and all the varying spots. So you mentioned that you're touring, you're doing stand-up. You obviously started as a stand-up comic and then had wild success with a television show, movies and stuff. And usually for stand-up comedians, like that's the point I was trying to get to, was to get the show. But you're still doing stand-up. What is it about stand-up that draws you back in?
It's basically always was in high school an anarchist. So, in stand-up comedy, I don't have a producer, a director, or censors, or HR, or anything else. So I pretty much can say whatever I want. Obviously, within range, because I said that as Leno once told me a long time ago, you don't want to annoy half your audience. So I said, I really don't do political stuff. I mostly do. Growing up with a large family, there was 9 kids, and I said, I love stand-up comedy because of Richard Pryor. I saw him when I was in college and changed my life. I said, I've always been a funny guy, and I saw him. I've never laughed that hard in my life or seen that side of a human being, how self-effacing the man was. And, got to know him pretty well, and I said, I always wanted to be able to do that. Literally, I did television and everything else just to do the Tonight Show, Johnny Carson, the last the 2 months that he was on. I did it twice. That was really my goal. And the rest of it, not that I didn't love Home Improvement, and certainly love Santa Claus, Toy Story, Last Man Standing, and Shifting Gears, which I'm doing for ABC right now. I love television, live comedy, or live audience, which is a bridge between stand-up and movies to me. There's nothing like it, stand-up. I said, there's nothing like being able to give that gift that is literally not mine. It comes through God, I think, which suggests, I always joke on stage, God has a pretty weird sense of humor. Being a guy like me on stage to say what I say, but I said, it's a gift to walk out of a comedy show, which I love comedy shows and I love comics. There's nothing like it. There's nothing like being able to get that release and also give that. Yeah.
You mentioned the movies that or in the TV shows that we've become accustomed to your voice or your person being in, including the Santa Clauses. And a lot of it is like that common sense dad advice. Do you incorporate any of that in your stand-up?
Yes, I do. My whole zeitgeist is very different than anything else. I was kind of raised by, my father was killed when I was a boy, so raised by my mom and my aunts, my grandmas. So I've really been raised by women, and so my whole position is I have a great respect, love, admiration, and definite fear of women. And so that's, my whole act is about that. And I've got 2 daughters, and I came from 7 boys and 2 girls in our big family. So really my whole perspective is not what it seems like. I said that my life has been very different than what I appear to be and what my tribe may look like. I love making jokes about family. I find my 2 daughters, like my youngest one, who I just set off to go to school, is out here in my garage, which is my safe space, which is where I do all my Zoom work.
Just like a dad.
I love being in the garage. It just makes me comfortable. But the young one she's always, I'm trying new material on her, literally, on this next tour. And she's really the one that goes, Dad, didn't land. Let's try that.
I love this.
So I read a thing today. A guy said, I've seen 50 stand-up comedians quit, and the thing they all had in common is they took it personally when they bombed. Did you ever have a moment in when you were a young comedian, like where you thought, man, that was terrible, maybe I'm not cut out for this?
I guess it's what's called a hook. It's one of my stand-up stories, and really the story of home improvement and the story of my career. It was in Akron, Ohio, and it was a college gig. You go to the college comedy conference, and they set you up in gigs, both at universities and small company lunches. And I was not bombing, but it was it was a late show, dinner show, and the dinner was being served, so I'm doing comedy to people's backs, half the audience was eating, and it was a sales group for Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company in Akron, Ohio. And
oh, great.
I was not bombing. No one was listening to me. And all I heard was men grumbling.
Oh.
And so I just mimicked what I heard. And I started going,
oh my gosh.
And this whole group of men stopped eating. Goes, hey, that's pretty funny, kid. Say that again. And I remembered it started tapping into when my brothers and I used to eat Thanksgiving. Boys eventually, when they're eating, my mom would always say, just pass the potatoes. Instead, men would just point and go, and that became a tag that put me on Showtime, that brought me out to Los Angeles with Gino Bellini and the 5 O'Clock Funnies, and eventually Disney saw me at a big Showtime special I did early on, when the big comedy specials, and that grunting was a result of me bombing and looking for some genius out of that. Was by luck. And I look, and as Edison said it, or somebody, the harder I worked, the luckier I got. I just never gave up. I focused on what I wanted to do, which I always wanted to be on that Tonight Show with Johnny Carson.
Yeah.
It sounds like that might be where came from.
Yeah.
You can
Well, the funny thing is, my kid, I'm working on this right now, but I took her to school and I said hello to one of the basketball players that she knows. I said, hey, what's up? And he just goes, Boys at that age in high school, they don't. They either go bro or
Bro. Yeah.
So that's the new grunt, is bro. Bro.
It is.
Bro.
It is a night of comedy with Tim Allen, Saturday, February 7th at the Bob Hope Theater in Stockton. Tickets are available. We're going to link all the information to our website, Good Day Sacramento. Tim Allen, the legend, thank you so much.
Thank you guys for having me on.
And to you, sir.
Thanks, Tim. That's incredible, though, how what ended up coming from his career out of that one moment, you never could have possibly known.
Yeah.
He made the most of it.